Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the New Mexico Military Institute's YouTube Live Q&A for incoming cadets and their families. I'm Colonel David West, Chief of Staff, and it's my pleasure to host tonight's discussion. Joining me are key leaders who will play an integral role in guiding your cadet in their journey here. With us tonight, we have Colonel Tom Tate, who is the Commandant of Cadets, Colonel Orlando Griego, who is our Chief Academic Officer and Academic Dean, Colonel Jose Porras, who is our Vice Dean and our high school principal, Colonel Jose Barron, who is our Athletic Director, Colonel Dina Kernet, who is our Chief Financial Officer, and Lieutenant Colonel Christina Stark, who is Head of Global Enrollment and Marketing. Together, we are here to give you a clear understanding of what to expect in the weeks ahead and answer some of your questions and help make this transition as smooth as possible. This session is designed to be interactive, giving you and your family the opportunity to get real-time answers from the NMMI leadership. Please ask questions during the event by posting them directly in the YouTube chat or on the social media using hashtag AskNMMI. Our team will be monitoring both sites and will address as many questions as possible during the live broadcast. So let's get started. Let's first review the key matriculation dates for 2025. Our cadre have already begun to arrive as of July 15th, and our service academy preps are due in on July 20th, 2025. International orientation, July 27th through the 28th. Junior college and Bronco football and volleyball cadets on July 28th. High school break-in service and additional international cadets will be expected on July 29th. And the first day of classes is August 7th. So we're looking ahead to that. We want to remind our parents out there that there are several things to allow your cadets to be cadets. It's their time. It's their time to advance. It's their time to grow. What I would ask you parents to do is make sure that you join the Parents Club Facebook as a reference point and make sure that you're listed on with the Commandant staff for the parent e-newsletters. There are a lot of challenges that our new cadets face, and they're supported in many ways. We'll discuss those today. Cadets, this is your time, your opportunity, your experience, and so we're looking forward to you being here and having that opportunity. Here, cadets are expected to embrace the values of duty, honor, and achievement in all aspects of their lives. Discipline and respect for the structure are key to success at NMMI. Come prepared to adapt quickly to a highly organized environment. Leadership and teamwork will be developed daily. Cadets should take the initiative and support one another as they grow together. Academic accountability is critical. Cadets must stay organized and be proactive about their studies. Physical fitness and mental resilience are absolutely part of the program. Cadets should maintain a positive attitude and seek help when they need. And we expect cadets to communicate respectfully, maturely with faculty, staff, their peers, and anyone as they represent NMMI with great pride. So let me turn things over to Lieutenant Colonel Christina Stark, our Global Enrollment and Marketing Director, so she can talk more about the things that need to be in order before you report to NMMI.
Well, hello. One of the things that I would like to inform you all is the importance of having all your documents ready. One of the documents that's very important, and you should make sure that you complete it before you arrive on campus, is the Commandant's Packet. You probably have been in contact with your dedicated counselor, and please submit the remaining documents as soon as possible. Matriculation is fast approaching, so the sooner you submit your documents, the better. Again, the Commandant's Packet will save you a lot of time here during matriculation. Another very important document that you should have with you at all times while traveling to NMMI for the international students. You have to have your passport with you, and with your passport, where your visa is stamped, you should have your I-20, that document that you submitted with your passport in order to get your visa. So those are very important documents. A lot of students ask us about what they should pack and whether or not there are things that they cannot bring with them. So we have a list that should be, that by now you have that list sent to you by the counselor. But if, in case you don't have, it's available on our website under Cadets Life tab. And then you see on the Commandant's homepage under Parent Package Document. And it's new packet, new cadet package. So please take a look, check all the required and unauthorized documents. I wish you a safe trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you all here on campus.
Thank you, Christina, for helping families understand the critical deadlines, the paperwork required before their arrival. Now let's turn our attention to what life will look like once cadets arrive on post. I'd like to welcome Colonel Tom Tate, our Commandant of Cadets, to share insights on daily routines, discipline, and what it means to join the Corps of Cadets. Colonel Tate.
Okay, David, thank you very much. Colonel West, thank you very much. There's just a few comments here, and like I said, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to cover a few points. And the first thing is, what can a cadet expect in their RAT weeks, and what does a RAT mean? And most of you know by now that RAT means recruit at training. And what you're going to expect is you're going to transition in to the Corps of Cadets over these next several weeks. You're going to start out with uniform issue and uniform issue and learning things like that. Then you're going to go on to training. A lot of it's going to be military with a military structure, and you're going to learn a lot about followership, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself and about others. But most importantly, I think what you're going to do during RAT week is you're going to, I think, form some very, very strong bonds with your classmates. I think those who have attended here, they talk more than anything, not about academics or other things. Sorry, Dean, but they talk about their time in the Corps of Cadets and the friendships and bonds that they've made. And so to do that very quickly, we're going to reinforce some points, some perspectives, some teaching points. Then we're going to give you a chance to go out to our leadership reaction course, to our low ropes, to our rappel tower. We're going to have a lot of fun, but what, as the chief said, once we get started, if you do your part and you come here with a positive attitude and just a thirst for learning, or belonging, you're going to have a great time here. Very quickly about our electronics policy. I think some people think that maybe we take up phones or we take up computers or confiscate them. We do not. We do not do that. There will be times allotted for you to use your cell phones, and there will be times where you will not be able to use your cell phones. And the more you progress here, the better, the more time you're going to have to use your electronics. And so, no, we don't take the phones. Just stay with your with your computer, with your phone, iPads, that type of thing. What's a typical day look like for a cadet? Well, we start about 6 in the morning. We get up, we're in uniform. We march off to breakfast. After breakfast, we get prepared to go to class. We go through the academic day. Then we go to athletics, physical training, or one of our many, many clubs here on campus. And then in the evening, at least a couple nights a week, we have what we call Commandant's Time. And that's leadership and character development training. And then we call it a day, about 2,200 or so. So there is a fourth meal here. You'll have 3 meals a day, and there'll be a fourth meal that'll go at 21 or 2100, 2130, or 9 to 9:30, and so we think that's really important to make sure that you're getting everything you need as far as your nutrition. Um, and then people ask the blue book. The blue book is the rules and regulations of the Corps Cadets. It's online. I ask that you look at it if you're really concerned about different things: grooming, discipline, the schedule for the day. Everything is in there. And between that and your cadet pack or your parent pack, everything that you just about everything to get you started here at New Mexico Military Institute is provided. You'll have each of you will be in a troops. We're based off of a cavalry squadron or regiment, so you're in a troop. A troop is about 70 to 80 cadets with a troop leadership advisor. And that is a seasoned staff member that works for us within the commandant's department. Here joining me tonight, I have Lieutenant Colonel John Barber, who is a senior leadership advisor who supervises 4 troop leadership advisors within their particular troops, and he oversees that and reports up to my office. So, parents, cadets, you can expect within the first couple of days, you will get an email from their troop leadership advisor, introducing themselves, providing you with points of contact, etc. If you have questions or concerns, you need to contact that troop leadership advisor. I think often people ask about roommate assignments, and I would just say we do what we can to link people together as much as possible as we look at the logistics and the administration of it all, and different groups such as athletics, our early commissioning program, our service academy prep cadets, and those. So if you would like to room with someone, there's no guarantees, but you can certainly request that, and we'll see what we can do to accommodate. And the last thing here is what advice do you have for incoming cadets? And Chief talked about duty, honor, and achievement. And if you're committed to learning, those things are going to come. But what's important to me is when you get out of that car or truck or whatever, you need to know right now that we have over 100 cadets, your peers, that are training to accept you in the most positive and professional manner possible. There shouldn't be a lot of yelling. There shouldn't be screaming. There shouldn't be anybody trying to degrade or harass anybody. All those myths, and unfortunately sometimes they aren't myths, about military schools, that's not us. That is absolutely not us. And if you have an issue with that, you need to report it to our adult staff immediately. We want you to come here. We want you to be good, to do well and move forward. So with that, Colonel West, I think I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Colonel Tate, for providing a great overview of the cadet experience and expectations. Next, let's dive into the academic side of life at NMMI. Colonel Orlando Griego, our Dean of Students, will talk about how we challenge and support our cadets in their studies. Colonel Griego.
Well, everybody, welcome to NMI. We're looking forward to having you in the classroom. A little bit about NMI that I know that you already know, but this is a top tier school. It really is. We have 13 rankings in the number 1 or 2. That alone puts us in the top 2% in the nation. Our faculty, 100% have advanced degrees, either a master's or a doctorate. Just our JROTC programs in the top 1% in the nation as well. We have SAT scores that are 22 and 25% above state averages as well. And overall, we have excellent teachers. They average about 4.5 on their course evaluations. That's out of 5. To get to those type of numbers, that means that we have a very rigorous school and very challenging school. And that's one of the things I want you to think about when you come here. This is one of those schools where you will have a lot of homework and have a lot of homework every single night. If you're used to not having that type of homework, you get used to it because that's going to happen. Just to give you a sense of our math alone, take Algebra 1A, they have 60 assignments over the course of the semester. That's just homework assignments, 13 tests, a midterm, a final, and then eventually you'll have your final grade. So there's a lot of work for you. However, with that said, we provide a lot of support through the whole process to make sure that you're successful. Let me share some of those things that we do here. We have the Tolles Learning Center. And at the Tolles Learning Center, we have a library, we have peer tutoring, we have advisors there, especially for the college side of the house. Our peer tutoring is absolutely amazing. People that go to peer tutoring over the course of a semester get a half a letter grade improvement in their grade. So if you're struggling in any way, go off to peer tutoring. They do an amazing job in what they're doing. We also have night study hall there at the Tolles Learning Center, but you could also do in some cases, night study hall in your room if you're an older cadet or whatever the reasons. If you struggle in any way, we're going to put you into guided night study hall. The nickname we use is Mando. It means we're just putting you there to ensure that we can watch you. And this is great for parents. And, that way we're literally physically watching them do their homework so that they can't goof off in any way or shape or form. And the whole point of that is to try to improve their grade. And it does work. We get a 0.3 GPA jump just by going through guided night study hall if there's a need for that. We have wonderful advisors, both at the high school and the college level. They're very well trained, they're licensed, many of them, and they will guide you every step of the way from the classes that you take to the teachers that you need to interact with, and guiding you all the way till you get to that graduation level. And they do a truly amazing job. I assess them as well, very highly rated with the students. We have terrific library staff, and they will bend over backwards to help you because there's great digital resources available to you that you can take advantage of, as well as just getting help from them. It says, hey, how do I go about finding research in this area? They will help you with those things as well. Now, with that said, we also have courses for our first year experience courses, that help our brand new students get used to academic life over here, to give you skill sets on study habits, time management, SAT prep. We do a lot of those type of things as well. If you need to challenge a course because you're pretty smart in one area, you can take a CLAP exam as well, and we offer that service going forward. Our faculty are always available to you. And when I say always, I mean, really, you can email them at night and they're going to respond to you. They're there available in the morning for tutoring. And generally, they have office hours. All of them have office hours. And math has established, make sure that there's tutoring available for you throughout the school day. And then it goes into the night study hall. There's peer tutoring available to you as well. And if that's not enough, we even provide an academic weekend once a month that allows you to reconnect with your faculty and get help on a personal level with some of the coursework in case you're struggling in any way. So that's also available to you in that. So we have a terrific faculty that help you with that transition. They'll mentor you, they'll guide you, they'll help you. They're very friendly, they're very nice, but they're also going to challenge you at every level, and they will give you demerits if you're showing up late or if you don't show up for class at all. And if you don't show up for class, that's where the vice dean, which you'll hear from later, will literally knock on your door and pull you out and get you to class if we have to. So, this is not your normal type of school, but it's a very, very good school as we get you, again, through those whole things. Now, one of those, and those of you that may be, aspiring to really be challenged, we have a dual graduate program that you can think about. The dual graduate program allows you to graduate with a high school degree and your AA or AS degree all in 4 years, all the way through your high school experience. You can finish both of those things. And then you can transfer off to college, and you only have 2 more years of college. That saves a lot of time and a lot of money as well. So give thought to asking about that. That's your advisors can help you with that process as you go through this whole thing. But at every point, all you have to do is raise your hand, ask for help, and people will help you along the way. If you have other questions, feel free to ask those things in the chat, and they'll bring that to my attention, and I'll be glad to answer those questions. With that said, we're looking forward to having you here on the campus and in our classroom.
Thank you, Colonel Griego, for highlighting how academics are an integral part of NMMI's journey. Let's hear what Colonel Portis, our Vice Dean and high school principal, has to share about our high school academic programs. Colonel Portis.
Good evening, everyone. One of the main things, how are grades and progress shared with families, and what is the early warning system? For high school, their high school counselor review their advisees daily, their daily flags, positive and at-risk feedback, which report comes daily after school. If they see a flag that is of immediate concern, they will contact the student and include the parent with the notice of the flag, letting students know the need to report and discuss why the behavior or continued issue is occurring in the classroom. Counselors, they give kudos for positive notes as well. Another thing, any feedback reported on a positive or at-risk student from staff or faculty on campus in the early warning system is also included on the weekly progress report, which posts weekly Monday mornings and out to the parents at noon Mountain Standard Time. On the weekly grade reporting, it also shows if they missed classes or attended tutoring or not. Tutoring happens in the library or Tolles Resource Center. Peer tutoring is in the evening, math and science labs, and has a faculty instructor on duty with their scan in and scan out times. For morning tutoring with teachers, they put in the green flags to note that they went to the morning tutoring with their teacher. On the weekly grade reports, it also shows that they skipped required formations, so not just academically, but core as well. For college students, feedback is inputted in the early warning system by the teachers, and daily reports after school are sent to the college advisors assigned to, or their concentration faculty advisors assigned to see the feedback, so they can check in on their advisees in an effort to help keep them on track with their behavior, or more importantly, their academics. What kind of support will the cadet receive from the academic advisors / high school counselors? For the high school students, high school counselors meet with students routinely throughout the week to check on how they're doing. On an average, the high school counselors meet with each of their advisees sometimes 30 to 4 times a week. They keep an active eye on their students and always send updates via calls and emails to parents if they are at risk, or same if they're doing well, and that's the goal. High school counselors meet with teachers with students if they're at risk or they have issues, to help resolve conflicts or to establish academic plan to help them get them back on track. Along with the core, we meet the core staff. The academic advisors and the core staff meet on Mondays to discuss, at risk or generally just students that may need help, or students that can advance either way. High school counselors build a graduation plan every semester. They have a 4-year plan meeting where they review grades with their students and discuss what classes to take next term. Then they copy and they give updated plans, and they're sent to the students' parents with adjustments and updates if needed. It's always a working plan, never set, but always a working plan. High school counselors teach seminar grade level college career readiness classes. You the cadet, will have a class once a week throughout each school year dedicated to supporting you in your college and career searching going process. Topics covered for freshmen through their senior year. For example, the freshmen, their first year, it's about life skills, study habits, effective communication. Freshman and sophomore, it's about establishing how to set short-term and long-term goals, how to start and build and keep an updated resume, when to know and how to ask and recognize if you need help or assistance. They also touch on a brief touch on college search, and that's for freshman and sophomore. During your junior and senior year, seminars designed to learn and support the students with college applications, support with FAFSA and scholarship applications, how to research programs, understanding the difference between majors and minors, understanding financing, how to read a financial aid packet, setting up academic plans for college course enrollments, applying to, understanding the importance of summer internships, shadowing programs, etc. College students, their advisors meet once a semester, uh, initially to walk through academic plans and discuss, where they're going to go from here on out, slash their classes for the next term, slash classes for the next year, and their continuation of academics following NMMI. Another thing, what kind of school supplies do students need to bring? Well, here at NMMI, there's a school supply list that goes out from admissions that the faculty created to help with this student. Students can also purchase supplies here at the cadet store, or students can purchase supplies here locally from here in town. Another thing, what happens if a cadet is not doing well? Is there a plan in place to support any cadet or all cadets' success? Yes. High school counselors and advisors and several staff and faculty work hard to support students. If they're not doing well, they pull them aside, they talk to them, they discuss options with them. If they're in high school, the counselors set up phone conferences with parents, in person or online meetings, depending on what is needed and how the cadets or other parties needed to create the action plan that best fits for the student and get them back on track. Whole goal is student success. And talking about resources, talking about collaboration, that's the core, and that's the academics put together. First, I'd like to welcome everybody again, and just looking forward to working with you. And just as was what was said before, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask anybody in position, your teachers, advisors, the dean, Dr. Griego, or myself, if you need any assistance with anything having to do with academics.
Thank you, Colonel Porras, for sharing that information about the academic program in NMMI. Now let's move to some logistics and core operations. Colonel Tate, will you share key information about arrival day logistics, cadet health, and other support issues for our cadets, sir? Colonel Tate.
Okay, thank you, Colonel West. One of the first things that people often ask and is, about the arrival day is, what should you know about the logistics and that type of thing? And bottom line, the bottom line is wear comfortable clothing. Be patient. It's going to be a long. For many of you, it'll be a long day. Be patient. You can, and in some cases, you will need to accompany your cadet through matriculation. And when we say comfortable clothes, we're talking about for the parents as well as the cadets. You will arrive. Go to the GPS, go to maps, whatever. The intersection of Achievement and Kentucky Avenues on the northwest point of the campus at the Godfrey Athletic Center. You'll come in there, you'll drop off your luggage, and then we'll ask them to go stage or park your vehicles, and then go into the Godfrey Athletic Center to begin the matriculation process. What type of religious services are available would be, we have a Protestant non-denominational service at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock on Sundays, we have Catholic Mass at 1700 or 5 o'clock on Sunday evenings. And then for those cadets who may have a different religious affiliation, other than maybe some of the standard Protestant religions or our Catholic cadets. You just check with your TLA and your SLA, and we will see what we can do to align you with the services. Um, it says, this is always an interesting one. What can you do, to describe the support systems for homesickness? And first of all, when you come in, you're going to be aligned with a rap buddy. You're going to have a rap buddy, and the rap buddy is going to be your peer. And the closer you get to those with you that you're going through this training with, the better off you're going to be. You also can, of course, go to your TLA, your SLA, and we have a counseling center here. We have a counseling center here that covers everything from high crisis type of situations to anxiety, stress, homesickness. We have a clinician, and we have a licensed a medical mental health worker, which is very exceptional for a school of this size. We also have a life coach and our chaplain who does a fabulous job for us. So we have 4 folks over in the counseling center that are there for you as a support system, as well as just faculty and staff. Whoever your cadet is comfortable with, they may or may not be able to help them, but they will. If they can't, they'll get the help that they need. Family visitation days. As far as the high school goes, they're your sons and daughters. You come here on campus and ask, for them to sign out. We're going to let you sign them out. It may not be in their best interest at that time, as far as their academics or their professional development here. So we ask that you adhere to the pass and leave processes that we have in the Blue Book, and really focus on those family days. And our first one is what we call our cresting ceremony. We have 3 phases in our rat cycle, and our cresting ceremony is on Labor Day weekend, and we deliberately put it on Labor Day weekend, conducted on Labor Day weekend. So we're hoping some folks from out of town. That's the first time that the cadets will wear this particular uniform. I'm wearing the white short sleeve shirt with the blue slacks and the black shoes. And you will see, for many of you, you will see a significant transformation in your sons and daughters, grandsons, granddaughters, or whatever, here in just in about 3 to 4 weeks. So just about a month. So I think that should be really focused, and see if you can come and see us on Labor Day weekend. How should parents handle sending care packages and mail and that type of thing? Well, your cadet will get an address. It'll go 101 West College Street, and they'll have a box number, and then it'll be Roswell, New Mexico. So it won't be a problem. They'll get some kind of slip or something in their mailbox and be able to pick it up. We ask that, as far as goodies and all those kind of things, we just ask you to curtail doing that, as much as possible here in the first semester. They are getting 4 meals a day and working pretty hard. Plus, they just don't have room for a bunch of food, and especially non-perishable food, up in their room. So they really shouldn't have food up there outside of what we have. Our mess hall I think it's very good. It has a great selection. It has a salad bar. It's very, very accommodating. So I think you're going to get everything. They're going to get everything they need there. When you talk about laundry, here's the thing. We have a laundry service, both dry cleaners and laundry service. And we also have some manually operated washers and dryers. And so I'll see cadets trying to drag their laundry over and wash it themselves, but they can get it washed for absolutely no charge here if they just manage their time and turn it in. So many of them just don't turn it in, and then and then they're down in the laundry room washing clothes. So it's a great it's a great resource for you folks for cadets to take advantage of. A couple more questions here are things we get, especially with the room. Is can a cadet have like a lamp or a desk lamp or whatever? Well, if it's really small, and what's small is, I don't know, just a few inches high and a few inches wide, but bottom line is they don't need one. They have a desk lamp. They have a desk lamp that's part of their configuration in their barracks room. And then and when they talk about, well, what about laundry bags and how do we set up a room? All that's in the blue book. The blue book is online. Many of those pictures are in color. Just take a look at it online, and please adhere to those regulations, because if you bring in stuff that's unauthorized, we're just going to take it from you. We're going to store it and then have you take it back with you at the end of the semester, if not sooner. Okay. And then they talk about, can you use storage bins, small plastic storage bins? Once again, refer to the cadet handbook, and you can kind of see we're pretty liberal on things that'll fit underneath the desk, underneath the beds, that type of thing. And a lot of times I'll ask about backpacks and that type of thing. You will be issued a backpack when you arrive, and you'll be issued, of course, a computer when you arrive. You'll be issued a haircut when you arrive. So all of that is at no charge to you, and we're glad to do it. So, Chief, those are just a few things, Colonel West, a few things that we've talked about and thought that might be interesting to family members. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Colonel Tate, for that and explaining some of those. We'll get to some questions that people have on some other items. No, you can't bring your pet alligator. So if that's a question, that it's out there. We're really excited this year to announce that we've done a little bit of change. General McBurnett has directed us in the infirmary area and to work on some options there. So Colonel Jose Barron, who's an athletic trainer by profession and works in that area, worked with myself and Colonel Kernet, who's our chief financial officer. And we've gone out and hired our crew for the infirmary, including a medical doctor, Dr. Pope, and he's a local physician here. He's actually an alum of the school, and he has had several cadet children here at the school as well. And so we're really excited about him as our new medical director over there. Dan McIntyre is now on as our director of nursing. And so a lot of cadets may remember Mr. McIntyre from years back, and he has been working emergency room nursing, et cetera, in the area. And then our charge nurse over there is Christy Bradshaw, who's RN as well. And so for families, we have that facility manned for 24/7 while cadets are here. We're trying to address quality issues over there, and the idea that cadets make sure that they have a place to go if they have concerns or needs. I know we have a couple questions will come up here in a little bit about it in just a little bit. Colonel Barone, is there anything else you want to add about the infirmary at NMMI?
Thank you, Colonel West. So I too am excited that we have our own homegrown infirmary for the first time in many years. They're capable of doing a lot of things. The most important thing, I think, is communication, so that the parents and cadets have the expectations are met. Make sure you communicate with the nursing staff. There's a need for you to bring your medications and show it to them. That's all outlined in your incoming paperwork. Big thing is we are prepared to handle a lot of things, but we also need a lot of communication back and forth, particularly with minor cadets and their parents. Again, excited that we were able to do this, and I know the infirmary staff that's here is very, very excited to get started in this adventure.
Thank you for that, Colonel Barone, and again, assuring families that we have you covered on the medical side, and again, just about communications when you arrive. They will have a station in the matriculation area, so they'll help you with that as well. let's see if we have Colonel Kernet with us. She had some technical difficulties, but I think I see her down there. Colonel Kernet, let's talk about a couple financial issues. Walk us through maybe some tuition fees, deadlines, payment plans, whatever you think is important there that the parents and cadets ought to know as they come in. Colonel Kernet.
Good evening. Thank you, Colonel West. Hopefully you have already heard from your financial advisor from the NMMI business office. They send a welcome letter, a cost sheet, a business office policy form, a payment policy, and information on the tuition refund insurance via email or regular mail. All cadets must either pay in full their account balance or be fully covered by financial aid, and that needs to be done prior to matriculation. If cadets do not pay in full or do not have a full financial aid coverage package, NMMI expects families to be enrolled in a payment plan. The payment plan is provided by Nelnet Campus Commerce. This all needs to be taken care of before matriculation. The fall payment plan options opened in April, and the last day to enroll in the next best option is July 24th. So that's very soon, next week. You can visit the NMMI webpage to access the payment plan. You can visit the NMMI webpage to find your financial advisor. Your financial advisor will find you if you are a fully accepted cadet at NMMI. NMMI has a prepaid spending account. It's called Bronco Bucks. It is available through Sodexo. Sodexo is NMMI's official dining and campus services provider. Bronco Bucks is available at nmmi.campuscardcenter.com. You can purchase a prepaid plan there. It's very simple to use. The cadets carry around an ID, and that ID will allow them purchases at the NMMI cadet store, at the bowling alley, at the game room, at the campus coffee shop, at the PX. And that's all I've got for you, Colonel West.
All right. Thank you, Colonel Kernet, for that. And certainly I appreciate the information about where to go and check for parents for the Bronco Bucks as well. So now let's cover athletics and physical training with Colonel Jose Barron, which is essential to developing what we believe essential to developing well-rounded cadets. Colonel Jose Barron, our athletic director, will speak on sports programs and fitness at NMMI. Colonel Barron. Colonel Barron, you're muted.
Let's try this again. I want to address a few things that right off the bat about what we offer and what we don't offer. The one thing that I want to leave you with, I'll say it more than once, www.nmmiathletics.com is our athletics website. You can reach it from the main nmmi.edu website, but that has a list of all our sports, has the directory of coaches. But just to give you an idea, what do we offer? We have at the college level, we have baseball, basketball, football, and golf on the men's side, and we have women's cross country and women's volleyball also as intercollegiate sports. On the high school level, we have baseball, basketball, cross country, football, golf, track, soccer, tennis, and swimming. On the boys' side, girls' side, we have basketball, cross country, volleyball, swimming, tennis, track, and I think I said volleyball, but if I didn't, double volleyball. So those are the sports that we sanction, that we have on a regular basis. at matriculation, the majority of our high school, and I will focus highly on the high school, because if you are a college athlete or you want to be a college athlete, I urge you to contact our coaches. Most of our college athletes have been in contact with coaches throughout the spring and early summer. So if you want to play college sports, get on that website and contact the appropriate coach. So I'll focus more on the high school. On matriculation day, the majority of our high school coaches will be available to meet and to talk to students and parents. They'll be at the matriculation table and in that area, so they can answer a lot of the questions you have. Also tonight, I have with me Major Jeff Gunn. He is the sports information director. He's been answering a few questions already in that chat room. And so Mr. Gunn is another good resource, gunn at nmmi.edu, for general questions on athletics and sports. So what do we need? There was some questions about what to bring. We, of course, provide you uniforms and some basic practice gear, but and for the sports like football, we'll get you a helmet, shoulder pads, etc. We do not provide footwear for sports. So if you have a particular kind of shoe that you need or want, and you bring that with you. If you're going to play golf, bring your clubs with you. We do intend to have some golf practices in the fall, but the golf season is actually in the spring. So another important question is, how do you balance athletics and academics? Well, it's very easy in many ways, because if you're not successful academically, then you're not going to succeed in athletics, because you're not going to participate. We follow the NMMI rules for eligibility, and ours are even a little bit stricter. We do an extra check at the 9-week mark. Our coaches will stay in communication with parents if there are issues, and our SAC counselors that work with Colonel Porras are very, very good at communicating again with coaches and helping maintain the back and forth on which cadets are struggling. Typically, we find that if an athlete is committed to their sport, they tend to do a little bit better in academics, simply because they want to be athletically eligible. So I would say that we stay in communication, but again, it's on the cadet to make sure that they're able to balance and to ask for help from the coach, the counselor, the teacher. Our faculty works very well with our cadets that have to travel for sports. So we do a good job with that. So another thing I want to discuss a little bit, again, on the high school side, is the initial eligibility. If your cadet is an incoming freshman, and then it's their first time in high school, then we don't have any additional requirements of them. If your cadet is anything above a freshman in high school, sophomore through senior, and coming into NMMI with the intent of playing a sport, they will require additional paperwork for eligibility. We are fortunate enough to have an immediate eligibility clause through the NMAA. However, that takes additional paperwork and affidavit signings. Those are all going to be available at our table at matriculation day. Our compliance person for the high school will be available. So be aware that we will have some extra steps, and we'll require some paperwork from the sending school. All in all, the majority of cadets are eligible immediately, whether they're first, second, third, or fourth year students coming in. There are a few cases that we have to appeal, but the vast majority of students are eligible immediately, regardless of whether they played at another school somewhere else. The other thing I want to touch on, of course, is under my area of purview is the physical fitness component. So we have a physical fitness staff that's composed of my professional staff, our strength and conditioning coaches, along with a cadet cadre that are responsible for training the cadets on a daily basis at first when they arrive, and then every other day during the week. So if you're not in a sport, you will be in physical training. So my advice is, if you're inclined to try a sport, I would try it. Otherwise, it's okay. You'll join physical training, and it's progressive. We started kind of easy and work your way up. Our goal is for every cadet to improve from where they got here. Not everybody's going to be able to run a marathon, but maybe that's your goal, and we'll do our best to get you there. We are very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. Every year, the Corps improves in physical fitness as a whole Corps, and we intend to continue that. It's a structured program, and it helps us maintain a certain level of physical fitness, and it hopefully establishes good habits for our cadets moving forward. Colonel West, I think that's enough from me at this point.
All right. Thank you, Colonel Barone, for sharing how athletics contribute to cadet development. Well, let's start on our Q&A here a little bit, and we'll work our way through the list that staff has provided on the right-hand side, and I'll toss it to the team if if I need a little bit of extra or unsure about those. But let's get started. Colonel Stark, I've had some read-aheads. There's a question here. Will someone let us know if we're missing any documents? And I'm going to assume that's on arrival. So family arrives. How will they know if they're missing any documents? Question, Colonel Stark.
Thank you, Colonel West. Yes, your dedicated counselor should be contacting you very soon. Just if you're missing any documents, she will be sending you an email with a list of the documents that you're missing. I would highly recommend that you contact her directly, so she will be able to respond to you faster than you would get an answer just by waiting for her.
Thank you. Colonel Tate, I've got a couple here for you, sir. You mentioned some family events or whatever. I know there's a schedule listed. There's a family weekend, etc. So how do we know as parents what events are good for families to attend throughout the school year?
Yeah, thank you, Chief. We have a schedule, and we'll be sending out reminders through the Parents Club and on through Facebook, and like I said, the first one will be in Labor Day weekend, and also another the next big one would be the RAT intermediate ceremony, which is is a parade that's in October, and of course there will be a number, not many, but there will be a handful of open weekends where which would be the best time for parents to come and visit their cadets. And so while we're on that, maybe if I could, the question is, we saw one question in here. We haven't been able to respond as rapidly as we wanted, but we had one question is, can cadets go on vacation, that type of thing? Well, if they're in good standing, they can sign out. They can sign out. They can go on furloughs when we have those dates posted, etc. Or open weekends. We really, once again, you can sign them out whenever you see fit. Emergencies, absolutely, but look for those weekends like Labor Day weekend or the weekend October. The open weekends, and try to plan those days around it. I mean, we're actually going to be finished, with the semester, the Friday before Thanksgiving. So it's really fast paced, and we have some mandatory activities that we would really like to see all the cadets participate in, and then your support would be much appreciated. Thanks, David.
Well, one more, Colonel Tate, for you. We got a question in regards to civilian shoes, or let's add on clothing. But I mentioned before, no alligators are allowed, but I guess we have to switch to Crocs. Someone's asking, can I wear Crocs instead of slippers? What are we about that, Colonel Tate?
Well, you can wear Crocs instead of slippers, basically to the shower, and then around and back and forth to the shower, because if I just say in around the area, the next thing I know, you're up in the admin building in your Crocs. Okay. Bottom line is, whether you've got slippers or you got Crocs, you can walk out of your room to the shower and back. I can't get any more definitive than that.
Perfect, Colonel Tate. Thank you. I did have a question here in regards to allergy shots that a cadet would take. The bottom line is if you have medication that needs to be administered, yes, you go through the infirmary to get that done. We don't allow those type of things up in the cadet rooms, with great exception. And the point is we, trying to maintain control, etc. And it's actually part of the requirements. If you'll read the Cadet Blue Book, as Colonel Tate has mentioned, you'll find that in there as well. But our infirmary staff is very well qualified in regards to the administering of those type of issues. So I think we can answer that question.
Chief,
Yes, Colonel Tate.
Yes, I just reviewed some of that medical information with Colonel Barone this past weekend, and that's right. Look in the parent pack. Look in the parent pack because you're going to sign saying that you understand that process. It's all there in that cadet pack or their parent pack, as long as you stated, Chief, there in the blue book as far as storage and application of those of any type of medication. So really important. It gets kind of confusing. So thanks for letting me communicate that.
Roger that. Appreciate that as well. So, Colonel Tate, there's a question here about, and this will probably combine several. They want to, asking questions about bringing, say, an Amazon Alexa, an alarm, guitars, maybe some photos to hang up on the barracks wall. What maybe extra blankets. Talk about what a cadet can bring in that area and what advice you would give them to not bring.
Yeah, stick to the parent pack. Just stay with the parent pack. Okay. And when you have pictures and things like that, you have a bulletin board in your room where you can put up photos, that type of thing. But once again, a blanket turns into 3 or 4 and a pillow turns into an oversized, giraffe. Bottom line, I'm just telling you, I think I've seen it all. So I'm not kidding. So bottom line, just stay with the parent pack and let that, and it helps keep your room clean and sharp looking. And in the long run, especially getting started, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you. And then you can kind of see what's going to fit and what's not. I mean, a lot of times people bring a blanket and just roll it up and stick it in there. I'm not going to turn away if you have a blanket, but I wouldn't suggest it. We will give you what you need, and it will provide ample or be sufficient for your needs. And like I said, it'll help keep your room a lot cleaner and sharper as you progress through your rat phase.
Thank you, Colonel Tate. One other one here. A couple combined questions, I believe, is the day of matriculation. Let's talk about the timing, how that day goes, and parents. They kiss their cadet goodbye for the term, and then when's the next time they would be able to really see them after that day of matriculation? Thank you.
Once again, I have Colonel Barber in the background. Tell them cresting, sir, Labor Day weekend. And that's what we certainly prefer. But once again, we're not going to turn away parents. I mean, you are our customers and we're not going to turn you away. But I think, and there's going to be some, there's going to be some exceptions to that. We're going to at times see where we may see a cadet that's struggling and they really need to sit down and talk with their parents or something like that. Maybe if they're a little anxious or they're a little homesick or something like that. But just to come in and visit and socialize, we ask that you permit us to get to Labor Day weekend. When we get to Labor Day weekend, we're going to have very quickly, if I could, we're going to have some activities. You're going to be able to see your cadets involved in activities with their troops, as we discussed earlier. Then we're all going to go into Pearson, and the superintendent is going to present them with their New Mexico Military Institute crest, and we'll explain the significance of that at the ceremony. And like I said, it's really the first step forward, because for many of them, if they make it the first 30 days, they're going to make it. And so that's really important. I think those are all really, they're some of them questions might sound, a little mundane, but, to young people coming in here, they're not. We understand all that. And I appreciate those questions and just ask you parents to adhere to those requests that we're communicating here tonight. And once again, thank you.
Colonel Tate, will cadets get any free time during the weekends?
Once again, their free time will be very limited during their rat cycle, but Sunday Sunday is pretty much a hands-off free day for the cadets. You have chapel services in the morning. You may, during the early phases of RAT cycle, have some training in the afternoon, but those days are free. Also, once again, when you look at these open weekends, or maybe we have an event, like, for example, the cresting. Well, if we finished up cresting at noon on Saturday, then they don't need to be back until Monday evening of Labor Day weekend at 5 o'clock. If it's a regular weekend, then they would need to come back. They would need to come back or return at 5 o'clock on Sunday, and we'll get that information. We get that information out, and we have it on our training schedule. So there will be time for them to engage. I think this first 30 days is really important for them to focus on their experience here at the school as they begin.
And Roger, that Colonel Tate, part of that, I guess the question comes up about cadets attending off-post religious services. Are
Sure.
they able to do that?
Yeah, excuse me, David. Sorry to interrupt. Sure, we have a limited number of cadets that go to off-campus services. Even during the RAT phase, they can sign out. We're not going to try to keep anyone from their religious, their religious rights and etc. So even during the RAT phase, if they can go out, if we don't offer it here, or they prefer to go with someone else, but we do ask with our chaplain and with our mass, we do ask to give those cadets to give our on-post religious services, a look at to visit them and just see if they're comfortable with those, but they can go off post.
Thank you. Colonel Barone, so the question came up about what are the gym hours? What would you say to that?
Colonel West, yes, we the Godfrey Athletic Center, which ironically is the first place you will step on this campus when you arrive, has varying hours. It is open to cadets the majority of the day, starting at 6 a.m. all the way through as late as 8 p.m. Obviously, cadets can only go there when they have free time. So some cadets that have a free period between classes are able to go there. Sometimes after school, when they're done with PT, they can go there. So the center is open most of the day, and the cadets can go there when they have free time available. We also use the Godfrey Center to teach our PE classes, so there'll be some of that going on throughout the day. And on weekends, it is also open between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. So there is a lot more availability at those times.
Thank you. There's a question here about the purchase of food that doesn't need to be heated, and I think that leads to the idea that there's not, we don't allow heating elements in the cadet rooms. There's also non-refrigerators in the cadet rooms. The point I think Colonel Tate made before is we need to keep that to a minimum. I oversee facilities, and the first thing that cadets will call is, we got bugs in our room. Why do you have bugs in your room? Well, because we have food in there. And as Colonel Tate said, a package of small Pringles turns out to be a whole container full of other food items. So there are plenty of options and opportunities around to purchase food. As it was mentioned, the cadet store is like a small 7-Eleven. The PX is like a grill. There's the coffee shop down in that you have to earn your rights to get to, and then there's local vendors as well. And so cadets will soon learn how to order food and the to-use and all that business. So they order hot foods as well. But the point is trying to keep that out of the cadet rooms as much as possible to keep clean. But yes, they can do that. In regards to bringing one's own iPad and tablet, again, NMMI supplies each cadet with a laptop that has the software needed to support them at their academics here at the institution. The point about bringing your own iPad and tablet is you run the risk of losing your own iPad and tablet. Remember, we can't address your personal equipment. It's against the law, actually, for us to try and fix that. And of course, if it goes bad, then you have to deal with calling home to try and get that fixed. That's why we provide the cadets with a laptop. There's a lot going on, a lot of pieces, a lot of things that the cadets are trying to keep up with. Most of all, their cover, their hat, and other things around them. So I would say, as the commandant mentioned earlier, keep it to a minimum. Try not to bring a bunch of extra stuff. Certainly not at the beginning. The next one is if a cadet gets sick, mild or severe sickness. That again is the point of the infirmary. Think of the infirmary of, we say, bumps, bruises, scrapes, upset tummy, maybe a flu, that kind of thing, in a great clinic run 24/7 while they're here. All the cadet has to do is contact that infirmary. We'll get them taken care of. TLAs, SLAs, roommates, etc. Help them get there. If they're not feeling well, go get checked out. We have I think at Colonel Barone, it's level 3 trauma centers, 2 of them within half a mile of NMMI, and then of course level 1s within a 45-minute flight from here. We certainly hope and pray that we never have to use those, but they're all there. Everybody knows us, so we're in good shape there. So not to worry. Can we request a wrap buddy prior to our arrival, Colonel Tate? You mentioned a little bit about requests of roommates. What if I have a wrap buddy I'm coming with? How do I let you know that I would like to room with that person? Colonel Tate, you're muted, I think.
Put your request. Thank you. Put your request in, and we'll see what we can do to accommodate. We want you to be just as comfortable as you can be here, and we want to do what we can do to accommodate that. But we may not be, for a number of different reasons, able to accommodate that right off. Also, when you come in and you get a roommate, we ask that you just stay with that roommate and opportunity. Then 2-3 weeks on down the road, if you think you need to move or you'd like to move or request something like that, that can be handled on a case-by-case basis by the TLAs and our admin staff here, because we want, day in and day out, we want people as comfortable as they can be. And once again, we ask everybody to make that effort to engage and do as well as they can as far as their roommates. And but if those things aren't working out or whatever, we're going to address that.
Thank you, Colonel Tate. Also, we have a question about watches. Ironically, they have pretty fancy watches out there nowadays, and I think my ad would be, again, those things are subject to getting lost or misplaced, etc. But what, Colonel Tate, is our regulation on watches or frankly jewelry or anything there?
Oh, well, to start talking about jewelry, go to the Blue Book. Go to the Blue Book. You can have you can have a ring on each hand. You can have a bracelet here. Go to the Blue Book and read it. And then if you come in and you're not in compliance with that, we're going to, we're going to very respectfully ask you to remove what's not in compliance and that type of thing. Watches, we just request that they be, black or natural in color. People show up with red and lime green and those types of things, and it just really doesn't do a lot with our uniform. So if you've got something like that, our uniforms are all like long sleeve. If somebody's got a $300 watch and it's got a red band on it, see if you can change out the band. Okay, probably not that expensive, $8 or $9. I don't know. But the other thing is you've got the sleeves. So if you can keep it concealed. But bottom line is, if you can come with the watch, and a lot of people will have the Fitbits or the Google watches or something. Remember, be careful with the really pricey stuff, because I'm not as worried about somebody, maybe honestly, I'm not as worried about somebody taking it as you losing it or maybe getting it damaged in training. And that might be something you might want to do, is you might want to come here with with a less expensive watch or whatever. And I know the watch is connected to the phone, who's connected to the computer, et cetera, et cetera. So that's your call. I'm just telling you, whatever you bring, you're going to have to adhere to the Blue Book and with our technology requirements. So that's I think that's a good summary there, David. But the Blue Book will talk about the grooming and the jewelry and that stuff as well, Colonel West.
Absolutely. Thank you. Colonel Griego or Colonel Porras, I think the next one, someone says, I'm in the band program. Question, do I have to take my own instrument?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember what the answer is. I know there's some instruments that we provide, and there's some instruments that we don't provide. I'm just not sure what that actually is. So I'd have to refer you, unless you know Colonel Porras, to our band director, and then we could get you that information. But a simple email my way, if you can find me online, we'll also have that information back to you within 24 hours. So, Colonel Porras, do you have any sense of that?
Best bet, get a hold of our band director.
Yeah.
I mean, I see a lot of common instruments. I don't know if a French horn or something like that's different. But what's your email, Colonel Griego? It's
O Griego. Let me spell that. OGRIEGO at NMMI.edu.
Thank you. Perfect. And Colonel Barone, they also ask about they would like to join the swimming team. If a person wants to join any of the athletic teams, how do they go about doing that?
Yes, Colonel West. So again, I'm focusing on the high school side of here. There is no college swim team, but if you want to join the swim team, at the matriculation table there will be instructions on how to do that. Swimming is a winter sport, so we typically don't start practice for swimming until late September. However, the coaches will be available to give you that information. I highly recommend joining another sport like cross country so that you can get in shape for swimming. Again, matriculation day will have all that information available.
Thank you. Colonel Tate, there was a question about wearing clothes other than the uniform during special occasions. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe they'll talk about that. But one thing I will comment for the good of the public here is if you go off post and you wear a sort of uniform, we will get called by the community. The whole community of Roswell knows what the proper uniform for an NMMI cadet is. And the first person they'll call is Colonel Tate. So he will hear about it first. So don't try that one. But how would you address that, Colonel Tate, about wearing civilian uniforms?
Okay, thanks, David. Honestly, folks, unless you're going out on furlough, you're going to need to be in uniform. Whenever you go downtown, you're out on pass, you're out on permit, etc. Furlough is when you go overnight. But especially as a rat, you're going to need to be in uniform, and that uniform will basically be what we call the Class C, or what I'm wearing, which is the white shirt with the blue slacks. And so you don't need to bring, just follow the packing list. You don't need any kind of special uniforms or anything to go downtown or whatever. And you're not permitted to do that. We don't do that, and because once you start doing that, everybody, what people find acceptable, we may not find acceptable as an organization and as at the Institute. So we pretty much keep everyone in uniform when they go downtown. You're signing out to go on furlough. There's a dress code to sign out to go on furlough, and that's also in the Blue Book. So I hope that helps answer the question, David.
No, that's perfect. There's a kind of a good question. I mean, people come up with new ones for me. I've been doing this a few years, but I'm going to bring some earbuds or phones, and I want to listen to my own music after classes in my room, my study time. What can I do there, and is there anything at risk with me doing that, Colonel Tate?
No, it's fine. You can take your earbuds or your headset or whatever you want and put it on while you study or while you're lounging around in your room, the limited amount of time that you have, whatever. That's fine. The problem comes in when you're walking across campus in uniform like that, because, and I see it, and others will see it, and we will make on the spot corrections, and we'll do it respectfully. But after about the second or third time, we're going to really start to wonder just how well people are listening, and then it starts to get a little more concerning. But yes, we'll do our part. We're going to treat everyone with respect, adhere to the rules, enjoy your music, enjoy your time. However you can relax, however you can be more comfortable, we want you to be able to do that.
A particular question, Colonel Tate, comes up about the cell phones. I mean, everyone has a cell phone these days, and bringing, as far as a RAT cadet bringing cell phones, is that okay?
Yes, yes. And a lot of, cell phones, some people say, oh, well, we don't use them, etc. I think, Jose, Colonel Porce will tell us too. Colonel Porce and Colonel Griego both will tell you that at times they're used in the classrooms, and at times the teachers will say, I don't want to see them out of the classroom. And that's not my business and my call, but I see Colonel Griego nodding his head. So that's kind of an instructor/professor call there during the day. Outside the classroom, walking across, if it's not official, and for a RAT, there shouldn't be anything official except possibly an emergency phone call, etc. And common sense is going to have to prevail. But that phone should not be out during the duty day if you're a RAT. If you're in your room or you're in a private space, etc., and you want to use that telephone, that's fine. But in the classroom and just moving around campus, that's not authorized, and it's also stated so in the Blue Book.
Thank you. There's still a lingering question or two about bringing a Nintendo Switch or a cadets, their own computer from home. So if they have work over the break, etc. Now, in regards to the Nintendo Switches and smart watches and things, I think we've addressed that. They're allowed. There's some restrictions, and also there's concerns of them being misplaced or lost or whatever. And so it just adds to the confusion of everything. So our advice is to not bring those, certainly not at first. Right. But then there comes a question about taking their computers home during break if they have work over break. And so the assignment of the computers is made to the cadets. We do take those computers back at the end of the year, like May, and then they're they wipe them clean and put on the new software. But we do allow cadets to take their computers during the breaks if they are planning to return, obviously. Let's see. We have here's one about dual credit. If I had already completed a certain amount of dual credit classes at a previous school, what would my schedule look like in college? And will I be able to pick up more classes, etc.? So, let the academicians here answer that question. Colonel Griego?
Yeah, this is Colonel Griego. So the answer is maybe. Obviously, we can take the credit if you've taken some of those credits already, and they will apply. However, it's very important that does it apply to an associate's degree? And then, of course, you have to have your high school credits as well. So that's where you have a meeting with your advisor. Your advisor will go over your entire transcripts. They'll let you know we can accept that one. That's going to transfer over to our program. But let's just say you took a basket weaving and we don't accept basket weaving. Then it's not going to be of much value to you. So your advisor will give you that, let you know how short you are for dual credit to achieve that, or how farther away you are. So that's all you need to do is make an appointment with them.
Thank you, Colonel Griego. There's a question about facial hair regulations for males or females. It really doesn't matter. Colonel Tate addressed, the Cadet Blue Book. Again, go to the Cadet Blue Book, read through that, get your heads up on what is allowed or not allowed there. Anything extra, Colonel Tate?
Thanks, David. No, I will tell you that we spent a lot of time outlining and documenting very specifics as far as the regulations go with with grooming standards. So take a look at those. We even have diagrams in the book, et cetera, et cetera. And our barbers are very familiar with what's acceptable, but don't put it on them. Okay. If you go out and you get a haircut and the barber goes, well, the barber said it was okay. Well, then we don't really, that TLA or whatever is, if they don't think it's within standard, they're going to send you back. The barbers know, and the barbers also want to cooperate with you and do the very best they can to give you the best cut they can, the very best cut they can within regulations. Because we know, a lot of people really, the hair is very important to them. Man, we all understand that. We really do. So we want our barbers. They're professional and they're caring, and they're going to go out and give you the very best cut they can in accordance with the regulations. And we ask you to appreciate that. So there you go, David.
Appreciate that. Yes. There's a question about horseback riding lessons. So NMMI itself does not offer any horseback riding lessons, but to say we do work with cadets and outside entities and opportunities when time permits. And I'll give you an example. I host the Cadet Aviation Program, and we work with the Civil Air Patrol here at the NMMI. Civil Air Patrol has an airplane out at the Roswell Airport that they allow their cadets to fly in. So cadets can get orientation flights, or they can go on and log hours. So we work with our cadets and the Civil Air Patrol as an example to accommodate that opportunity. There are other opportunities that perhaps are off post. And the point is when time permits, we will work with those cadets to get those. I'm not, and this is to the whole team, I'm not familiar with anyone here locally, and I'm sure there is, providing horseback riding lessons, but we at NMMI don't offer that option. Colonel Tate, the question came up, is the Blue Book the same as a cadet contract?
No, it is not. They're two different, the Blue Book right here is as published, okay? And online it'll be 8.5 by 11. The cadet contract, is a packet of multiple pages that if you're a minor, many of those pages, both the parent and the cadet will need to sign. It talks about the medications. It talks about electronics. It talks about your demeanor and your deportment. It covers just about everything in there. So much of what you see in the Blue Book, you're going to be signing in the cadet contract. So no, they're very different items, and one is online, and one should be sent to you, or you should receive one, or be completing one and sending it back, David.
Roger that. So Colonel Tate had a question. Is there on matriculation days, are the cadets going to form up and do march by? That's typical with them, but
yes. Bottom line is if you would like to stay through the day, I believe at 5 o'clock, 5 or 5:30, 17:30, 5:30, they will form up. They will form up here in Hagerman Barracks. And they'll go through the Sally Port here through Hagerman Barracks. And we will tell parents, I will be out there, a couple of my staff members will be out there, and we'll post you either on the steps up at Lusk Hall, or at Toll's Learning Center. And you'll be able to view your cadets as they march off to Bates Dining Facility. You may or may not be able to recognize them in groups with rat cuts, haircuts, etc. But you are invited. You're invited or welcome to stay. Of course, many parents have a lot of distance to travel, that type of thing, but they can do that. And then after that, we pretty much ask them to depart campus, David.
Roger that. There's a question about restrictions on mattress toppers for the cadet's bed. I will just answer that. Our mattresses are not a standard size. They're a little long. As a twin, I think it is nomenclature. They have the covering of the mattress is protecting the mattress, of course. And if there's issues with that, we have a facilities department that can help swap those out, and the TLAs, SLAs can help that as well. But here again, it's a caution. Now, I'm an engineer and kind of a nerd. So the point is when you say topper to me, I don't know how thick you're talking about or if it's just a cover or whatever. But that's something I think. No, we don't have a particular restriction, but the point is what you're thinking may not fit. So you want to check that and see. Does the season sports start at the first day for RATs, cadets, Colonel Barone? You're muted, Colonel Barone.
I don't think I'm muted anymore.
There
Colonel
you
West, thanks for the question. So it depends, right? So the fall sports will start right away. You will get the actual start today again on matriculation. By the end of the week, most of the fall sports will have started or will have had meetings. So again, for example, if you're a soccer player, a football player, a volleyball player, your coach will tell you when the first meeting will be, and you'll start the practice at the end of that first week. I believe on the 1st is that Friday. But and then if you're in other sports, we wouldn't start anything official until after the RAT training period is over with for off season. Again, the coach is going to be your best resource on matriculation day. If you want to ask the coach something ahead of time, go to the website www.nmmiathletics.com, and the directory of coaches is available there. Thank you, Colonel West.
Yep, thank you, Colonel Barone. Well, we've been at this about an hour and a half, and we certainly want to wrap up. And on behalf of all of us here at the New Mexico Military Institute, thank all of you for joining us this evening. We know that choosing NMMI is a significant decision and step, not just for our incoming cadets, but for the entire family. We're honored to be part of this next chapter in your journey. We ask that you please take the time to explore our website and follow us on social media. The links are all available at nmmi.edu. If you know of other family members who couldn't make it tonight, we encourage you to share this session with them. And don't worry, this recording will remain available so you can watch it back at any time if you need a refresher. We look forward to welcoming you to the old post soon. Until then, duty, honor, and achievement. Good night.